appears there's more to that than meets the eye. We are also decoding the Schumann resonance just the other day. So still kind of a lot of frantic energy and stressful energy for a lot of people. Let us know in the live chat if you are feeling these energies right now, if this disrupting your sleep patterns, and if you're feeling kind of weird and antsy that perhaps something is just around the corner. Let me ask you that first, Janine. You mentioned that, I think it was on the Monday show, that your sleep pattern too, you keep waking up at night thinking, I have to be on guard for something, that something's just coming up. Can you explain that overall feeling here and share that with the audience, please?
Yeah, I have trouble first getting to sleep, and I used to be quite an early to bedder, and now I'm like staying up longer. Could have been just this recent full moon, you know, I don't know for sure, but seems like I'm on edge and just waiting for something. And then I get up early, and it's like I'm kind of excited because I just know stuff's around the corner, and that's the feeling. So I don't know what's around the corner exactly, but I just have an anticipation like all day long about something.
Right. I feel the same way, and I want to go back to something. There's a couple of things I want to do in the show here tonight. I mean, we've already looked at this Iranian situation many times. You've looked at it on your world news. We've touched upon it on a lot of our shows. So I don't want to get into too much of the weeds as to what's happening there. Trump seems to be putting out some messaging out there that the Iranian National Guard should be asking for deals right now, and they're begging to stop, and he's saying they should lay down their arms. So we're seeing the tit for tat here. I don't want to get into the weeds for that, but I want to start. Okay, let's start here though. So much of weird energies. It feels like we're on the verge, as you're saying, as something is just around the corner. Could you maybe, for the audience sake here who haven't watched the shows this week on your channel on Tarot by Janine nor on our pay-per-view, can we give them a 7-card pull of the energies that are currently kind of interchanging right now, colliding together, that are creating this path ahead of us, to where a lot of the people just reading the text right now are also feeling antsy about something just being around the corner or not. So let's try to decipher what that looks like, how those energies are being set up, and how perhaps if the universe has some guidance here on how to navigate all of this. We don't forget the Clinton testimony as well, the pizza stuff, and like it's been a crazy week. I mean, we could do a whole hour show on all of these events, all of them individually. But let's look at the bigger picture here and step up. I think somebody was asking that today on the viewer question at 2 and at 3 p.m. But we ran out of time. They were looking for the 60,000 foot view, or the 40,000 foot view, as we used to call it. So that's what you're doing now. I think it'll be very helpful for the audience.
Yeah. So we got the big view here for what the universe thinks right now we need to see.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Here we've got this 5. This is like a warlike card. So it's certainly, the month did start off with us, like, and a lot of people thinking, oh, we're going to war, or we're in a war with Iran. Certainly the mainstream media, they're actually using language like that. I saw 2 different reports here in the last day or two, where both, so one was CTV in Canada and the other one was CNN. And they actually had the same pictures, by the way. So they obviously all get the same news from the same sources. So that was interesting. And their headline was Day 5 of the Iranian War or something, or they had that as a banner, both of them.
Right.
In red. Okay. And it's like, really? Are we really in an Iranian war? Because I'm not sure that's true. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, we're being told that, and the president has been talking about that, and Mike Johnson said we're at war with Iran, and it should be over by September. That's the latest rhetoric in the last 24 hours. But a lot of people are saying, which September? 26? Or is this going to be a 10-year thing, perhaps, like Desert Storm, or some of the fallout of these axes of evil wars and propaganda we've been treated to in the past? So, yeah, keep going.
I think it's, if there is, like, if it's actually war, but I think it is more like we've been in the war, and we've been talking about this, you and I. We've been in a war, and that's why this card's in the past. We're not out of a war. We've been in a world war, and it could even extend past our worldly boundaries. Okay.
Yeah.
A war in our universe even. Okay. And that's the war I think we're talking about here. And I think it came out in the open in Iran again. I think that's what, like, that sounds, I know, complicated, but that's kind of what it feels like. So we got this warring card. Then we move into the Queen of Swords. This always reminds me of Hillary Clinton. And certainly she's in the spotlight on the hot seat, or her brand is anyway, because a lot of us believe she got rounded up. There's even a video of them pushing her into a van. We've all seen the video, right? So anyway, she looks like she's really in the spotlight. So even though there's like none of these cards are war, like we're currently in a war, like literally like one of those third world war everybody's talking about. It's
Yeah.
not like that kind of a war. I feel like it's that other kind of war we've been in for a really long time. So then we've got this spotlight. So this is really something we might want to be focusing on, because this is where some really big shift could happen. Something that happens around her, or just her and her husband, and what they're saying. So I think a lot of comms are coming out of what they're showing us is going on there. So it's good, probably a good thing to keep an eye on that. Now we've got this Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups is all of a sudden you move in a different direction. So even though they've maybe focused on this, okay, it's been 5 days and we're in this Iranian war. Okay, all of a sudden tides will move us over somewhere else. And we've seen this over the last 5 years. Every time they say, oh, even the Ukraine war, it felt like they were moving us all over the place, and really didn't. Like, if it was really the war the way we used to know what wars were like, I think there'd be different signs somehow. Okay. And this card, tells me that all of a sudden our attention's going to go somewhere else. And very quickly, things could change really quickly. This card's the hidden influence. Things are changing really quickly, it says. And it looks like the financial market could be a big forerunner for what changes things really quickly. So all of a sudden, all eyes are away from that, what looks like that situation in Iran. And it's like all eyes on the financial system here. But something to notice, that really in the background, everybody that's looks like they're having these big skirmishes against each other, they're all in on it. Like, this card's a capitulation card, and people are working together in the background on a script, is what that tells me. So pay attention to what's being said, but don't take it for literal. I'd be really careful being literal about what we're seeing. Okay,
Right.
now we've got the strength card here. This is underneath, and maybe this is a way to approach it. So the strength card, stay really grounded in what you personally know in your heart to be true, and in your own version of and vision of what your truth is. Okay, and be really careful not to get like, because there's going to be a lot of rhetoric. This card's a gossip and innuendo card, and it doesn't even shine a light, even like a small light, to this card. This card's got way more clout. It's a major arcana, number 8 in the major arcana, one of our most powerful cards. So stay here and don't get pulled around by gossip and innuendo, because most of what we're seeing looks like it's overshadowing what's really going on. And maybe keep a really close eye on what's happening with Hillary and her hubby there, or the brand of them.
I think, what seems to be clear right now, and I think most of the people watching these types of shows, doing the research and trying not to be propagandized, seeing clearly through the fog, that are using all these tools like you are right now with the tarot. We're trying to understand what's really going on. In many cases, we're seeing all of these events happening around the world, and these events are in fact happening. Like, some people are dying, there's earth changes, there's wars, there's skirmishes, all these things. But where the kicker is that all of these events are not happening for the reasons or the context we're being told. And so that's the propaganda or the programming that is happening now at such a huge level. And I think we need more conversation about that, because it's very possible that even the audience members here who are more attuned to doing these researches don't yet understand perhaps that there are still some technologies and some tools that are being deployed against us that are skewing still our view of reality. Are you seeing that also here in the cards, that either that is breaking down, or humanity is trying to fight with that war as well? There's the war, generally the spiritual war you're talking about, but there also has to be an aspect of human consciousness and its evaluation of current reality and how it's being controlled right now. That seems to be just as much in the forefront as this war right now. And this could be why a lot of people are now kind of feeling there's something around the corner, even though the rest of what's being explained on mainstream news doesn't make any sense. It feels that that is also colliding. Do you understand where I'm getting with that? Do you see that also in the cards, Janine?
I think we've been seeing that. I don't
Okay.
literally couldn't say where that was in here, but I feel like we've been saying that. I'm going to pull two clarifiers there.
Okay.
The moon. And so the moon is like what you were talking about, where there's this big facade going on. The moon's your biggest hidden reality kind of card, right? If you want to hide a reality, the moon card. Okay.
Yeah.
And if it's really badly aspected, it could even be a death card. But right now it's not as badly aspected. So I'd go with it's talking about that hidden reality you're talking about, where things are happening, but when did they happen? First of all, they're giving us the wrong dates. And secondly, they're putting the wrong story behind what's happening. So
Mhm.
there's this, and this, but it's really about this, and this. And we noticed that when the Ukraine war first started. Okay. And remember, you and I were calling out on our channels. We were talking about how a lot of the bombs being dropped were actually from a video show.
Yeah.
Okay. So video programming, and all the newscasters or the news stations were using the same video footage.
Mhm.
And I feel like they did that on purpose to see who's paying attention. Like, I feel like a lot of this stuff's put out there, and I'm not saying it's not happening, but it might be happening somewhere different. The timeline could be off, and
And
why.
or not for the reasons we're being told.
So
Yeah.
that's absolutely something. So I don't know if that answered your question, but now we've got the 7, and it's a time to wait because we're not quite out of the foggy part of this yet. So we still must have some age of Pisces lingering that we need
Mhm.
to clear up to fully get into the age of Aquarius,
Right.
because this is very Pisces in this card. And this card asks us to be a little patient, because all through March, I think we're going to dip back into a whole bunch of things. It is a retrograde throughout the whole month of March. Pretty much the whole month of March is taken up by a retrograde.
You and I have been spending quite a bit of time, I'd say, in the last maybe 2 months, trying to really step back and then step back again and trying to see like the bigger picture of what's happening. We're being forced many times by the viewership and the questions to look deep into a very myopic view of certain events. And we're trying to, at this point, not get trapped in that. And we're not saying they're not good questions. But as Lady Day is saying here too, we're in the spiritual war. It's being fought on an energetic level, and we have to watch our thoughts, right? So we don't want to give energy where we don't want reality to go. And this is a tricky subject. You can shuffle the cards, Janine, here. I'm going to try to rephrase something here because this is a great comment on the chat. In the past, and also recently, some viewers get triggered by some of the questions that we ask on the show or the questions that we answer from our viewers on the show. And some viewers sometimes feel that we're feeding into this fear porn. And it kind of touches on the comment on the screen now when we're looking at some things that are difficult to digest for humanity. And we see this a lot, not necessarily in our community, but in some of these spiritual groups, where people tend to say, well, this is not my reality, therefore I'm not looking at it. I'm just going to concentrate on something else. And although there is value to that, and there is definitely times where to get centered and to get back into the fight in fighting shape, you need to take that time off and disconnect from all of these energies. We totally agree with that. But there was a viewer today, Janine, who asked you a question about Dolores Cannon in one of the predictions or future insights that one of her clients had brought through one of her QHHT sessions, the hypnotherapy sessions. And people are suggesting that that was a little bit fear porny. But the fact, when you read the cards about it, we don't need to get into the details, but I'm just setting up the point here for the audience to understand where we're going. Um, there was this attribute at this particular event, and the fact that we were now talking about it because Dolores Cannon had put it out in a big way, even though some people thought it was fear porn, the fact that humans got together, looked at this devastating information, and then said consciously, yeah, no, I don't want that. I'm going to therefore put my energy to a different outcome. And this is what you were describing in the cards, that humans had the ability to do that. So here we have a balance, is what I'm trying to say, to where, there's people who don't want to look at the bad news because they just want to ignore it, but that doesn't necessarily fix it. When we do actually look at it, understand what the plan is, where these controlling factions want to bring us, then we have regency to understand what the plan is, and then for ourselves to bring the energy towards, the better, higher outcome for humanity. This is the fight. And I think Lady Day is explaining this here in the spiritual war, watching our thoughts, but we also have to participate in voting with our energy as these things are being put forward to us. And so we have to be careful about just dropping the baby with the bathwater here, because sometimes some of these things are difficult and they sound fear porny. Your first thoughts on that, Janine, that internal battle that you and I keep having, on your side, me on my side, and then us together when we do a show, to tread that line very carefully, not to get into fear porn, but also give enough information for the viewers to then actively participate in changing the directions of those energies. How do you feel you're doing with that energy yourself? And how do you feel that we're doing, like on your show as well, on TBJ and here on Beyond Mystic? Are we hitting the mark on that? Should we go faster? Should we go slower? Do you think we're on the right track with trying to hold that very delicate balance, Janine?
Well, yeah, that's the key word. It is a delicate balance. And I think we're doing our best. I feel like I'm doing my best. And sometimes I do slip into the fear porn, but when I do, I recognize it. Look, like you're always watching yourself. My higher self's always, kind of checking in with myself every minute of the day and going, okay, well, that was an interesting little dip you just did over there. Let's change the way we say that. And like, it's an ongoing process and part of our evolution and a learning process. And to think you could just overnight change if you've been your most of your life in a, indoctrined fear porn sort of world. I don't think it's possible to change overnight, but a lot of us have done leaps and bounds in that department, even in the last 6 years. And I'm personally really proud of myself for the work I've done on myself, but it's a constant work. It'll probably be my whole life working on it. I'm not trying to say I'm, so evolved, but I'm sure working on it. And it is my intention but I'm not going to be hard on myself about it. If I slip back in, I got to just come pull my britches up and come back over and work at it. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you the cards, because I feel the same way as you, and I feel the responsibility that comes with doing these type of research and shows and sharing the information. But is humanity itself, can we take a pulse on whether or not they are where they need to be also in fighting that fight between avoiding and not looking at some of this fear porn, but then also actively participating, choosing, and transmuting that energy for the highest outcome of humanity? Where are we on that war, that front, where we are participating here in the outcomes of all of this?
Okay. That's interesting. This is a great breakthrough card. This card's left a lot of things behind that no longer serve us. And it says, in the past, we've done a lot of this work. A lot of us are coming here having done this work. You wouldn't probably be watching right now if you hadn't done some of this, where you're looking, sifting through things and saying, okay, that doesn't work for me anymore. Organized religion, no, because I can see how it's been infiltrated. I'm definitely not, listening to big pharmaceutical companies for, health advice. Like that's almost oxymoron or whatever, so like there's all of these things we've already picked through and let go of this community. Okay, the cards that comes up as our archetype here in the war we're fighting is a spiritual warrior. Like this is our warrior card. We're spiritual warriors. We are fighting the good fight here. This is a great breakthrough. So this is really positive. Let's see what else we got in the middle. So here we're literally up against the demonic programming that's lingering in all of these, what we've been calling normies. So we've got that. We've also got them on the verge of starting to see they might be wrong about a lot of things. And that'll be really hard because their egos are going to get involved. Just think if you haven't done the ego work of letting go of ego, and you've vaxxed your kids yourself, and your excuse is, well, you wanted to travel, okay, but meanwhile everybody's health's deteriorating, and you found out that you've shortened the lifespan of your own kids. Maybe you bought into the trans thing, and now you're just finding out that children that are transitioned with these blockers and etc. actually ruins their health, and now they're invalids basically to the health system for the rest of their lives, and also psychologically damages them irreparably, whatever that word is. Irreparably, is that the right word? Yeah.
Irreparably, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like they can't repair that stuff. Okay. So I feel like that's something creeping up on us. And this card says we're going to be seen as really I don't want to say heroes, but we're going to be seen as people to look up to, and people that led the way. So I would say, looking at this as, where are we at? We're doing great, and we're like fighting up we took up our torch, and we were brave enough even to just even be watching shows like this, brave enough to listen to find some truth in things. And like, not every single thing you and I even say is total truth or anything, but at least we're trying to find the truth, and we're open to knowing what the truth is. Okay, so we're open to integrally understanding what the truth is, and everybody joining us. We're all on that quest together. And also, we're fighting against nonstop fear porn. I mean, it's still out there, it's everywhere, right? So it's something we on a daily basis have to always check in on. Are we being manipulated right now by fear porn? And that's a big job. Like that takes a lot of energy, checking in on that, especially when you're going through reels and reels of on X or on Telegram and looking at all these, like a lot of them are gut punchy. So you got to really like detachment and discernment. And like we are literally honing our skills as spiritual warriors. And the cards are patting us on the back for that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's positive. I'm excited about that, and I think that's a testament not just to you and other researchers, but to, like you were saying, to the viewers who are brave enough to watch this and actually participate, because we all know it's not easy. You and I often say the phrase "ignorance is bliss," and sometimes for a very short amount of seconds, we wish maybe we were normies and didn't have to hold all this information field. It's not easy, and I know you guys are laughing in the chat. No, it's definitely not easy. Okay, thank you for that, Janine. That kind of sets the stage to where we're at in all this. You've done the bigger pull here and all of these energies. I want to bring the attention and the focus to audience members here to what's happening at the United Nations and why we might be wanting to pay attention to that too. So there was a news article earlier this week. You retweeted that on your Tarot by Janine Twitter. You said, "Good riddance. UN officials have warned that the United Nations faces total financial collapse as a result of non-payment of dues by member states. We face real danger of running out of money." Now, when you and I got into this news story, we were intuitively guided to not look at the UN in the way that most people see it, but to look at, myopically perhaps, at the UN's Office of Alien Affairs, and how that might be very much more front and center what is important behind this story, as opposed to the non-member paying dues and what that could do to that particular organization. Then there's a second part of Melania Trump being the first lady to sit at the UN Security Council, or to chair the UN Security Council. So we'll get into that part next. But this first part, as it pertains here to this, I don't know if it's a coup d'etat that's happening, or it's a changing of the guards, or it's a takeover of some of the UN roles, specifically with what's happening in outer space, in the context of Trump now saying that he's given an executive order for the government to release all the files on aliens, UAPs, and all that stuff. There seems to be movement that's happening there on the ground level, even though the mainstream news is not connecting the dots. I want you to revisit that and do a poll for the audience members on what this means here. Who's taking over this UN, and who perhaps is taking over the mandate that is not terrestrial, that is very much of alien affairs. Now, if you go look at information on what they do, it very much talks about cooperation in space, satellite placements, and all these things. But there's definitely an underlayer here that could be more akin to an ambassadorial kind of troop that are dealing with non-human intelligences there as a type of go-between from Earth's human population and those that are visiting. And it appears here that this move could be placing that office and the control of that office into new hands right now. Janine, I think she pulled that it had something to do with Space Force last week, but I want to get into a little bit more details here and see why we need to be paying attention to that particular part of the story. Janine.
Interesting. I think the UN, in the old way of understanding it, and some people will still think of it as the UN that we were told it was. Okay, that's long gone here. This card says that's done. Like it was passed over to, it now belongs to, I think, the White Hat Alliance. This is the Woo community card. Belongs to us. Okay, so it belongs to, it's more dedicated to truth and integrity underlying. So we got this years ago, you and I, that the UN was going to be taken over, and at that time it was probably just happening by the White Hat Alliance, and they were going to be utilizing the infrastructure of it for much different things, better things for humanity. And that's what this looks like. So it moved away from what it was and went over here, although of course they're not publicly proclaiming that. We've got the Knight of Cups underneath here. So moving in directions that are very far away from, I don't think it's just outer planet. I think underwater, underground, moon energies on the moon. I feel like when we say alien, can I add those things? So like just so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because again,
they're coming from, but they got ties with people on the moon. Truth about the moon. I feel like it's going to, a lot of things are going to come out. We're getting that again around the moon and the truth about the moon, what's going on with the moon, underwater stuff, what goes on underwater. I think there's whole entities that live under there, under inner earth, like all of these kind of things. I feel like it's touching on all of those kind of things.
It's interesting you say that, and perhaps some of the viewers can let us know in the live chat and send us a link. But I remember probably back in the 80s, there was an original logo and kind of plaque about the UN, and clearly it suggested that the Jinn had some type of seat at the UN or some type of unofficial, what's the word you're saying? Honorary kind of say on what happened on the planet. And here you're talking about a dimensional group of beings, but it was kind of like a known fact, and then it kind of got obfuscated after the 80s. But if you guys remember the live chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. So I think you're very much on the thing. It's not just aliens, outer space stuff, but it could be underwater, as you're saying, and other dimensions as well. So that's fascinating. But what you're painting here seems to be a positive picture, to where the way that was controlled in the past is now changing. It's going into different hands. And is it fair to say that this change here seems to be going in the direction of the highest good of humanity? Or is that still at least a potential that is continued to be debated, at least right now?
Well, to me, it looks like it's going in a good direction here. We got the Strength card again, and
Okay.
it's strengthening humanity. And then this card here really helps that. Okay, so here's where it's going to. So it's been ended the old way. Here's where it's going. It's not completely changed over because, of course, they've still got to hold up the facade for the theater the political theater we're watching. So that card says it's a work in progress. It's not all the way, but it's all, the part about where it was demonic is done. I believe that's done already. And then this maybe even indicates it was done 4 years ago, which makes actually a lot of sense to when we were talking about it. And then here we've got the Queen of Wands. So this is what it is now. So it belongs to us. It belongs to the woo community. And that includes like people that think outside the box, like that there's alien beings living among us, that there's other dimensional beings, like that there's maybe even Earth is way bigger than we thought it was. And there's all these areas that haven't been talked about for a long time. They were covered up, that are outside the ice wall. Like, I mean, it doesn't exclude that the world could still be round, but it could be a much bigger planet. Or is it not even round? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, I don't know. I could honestly say I don't know at this point.
Right. JTAR is asking us, like, are we saying that the UN is now more about aliens and off-planet entities? I don't know that it's more. What Janine was picking up in the show yesterday is that whoever was controlling it was shifting gears, and we were instinctively wanting to focus on that Office of Alien Affairs thing, thinking that that might be the crown jewel and all of that, and that maybe that could be taking a bigger spotlight, given the fact that we're not in this vacuum and we seem to be on this countdown to disclosure right now. Yeah. So I'm not sure. How would you answer that question from JTAR, Janine?
Well, I actually it was originally created in good intent for the universe, for the world. And then it got taken over by the bad guys. And like somebody was saying in the comments, the UN map is a flat Earth map. So that's interesting. Or at least it shows these other, it's that map that shows all of those other places that makes the world way bigger than we thought it was. So that's interesting. So they already knew stuff. And I think it got taken over, used for bad for all these years. Okay. And they've been fighting over it. And the good guys sort of wrestled it back here maybe 4 years ago. So I don't know if that answered the question or not.
I know they were asking if it was more now going to be focused on the alien stuff as perhaps it was in the past.
I don't think entirely. I think it'll balance out lots of different things. Okay. And it'll also focus on, it might be connected to tribunals and or justice.
That's
from the demonic,
right.
Like getting them justice in the public eye.
Okay, very good. If you want to shuffle, we're going to shift our attention to Melania Trump. Before I do that, R. Tucker is asking JC, have we just seen the Israeli mistake as per Cliff High? I don't think so. If you go back and read and parse very carefully the words that were associated in the description of the Israeli mistake, they were actually talking about the Israelis hitting Iran, a nuclear site that would create this huge nuclear fallout that would create a big portion of the planet as being toxic and not livable, to where the point that the Israelis would become, I think, what was the word? Not persona non grata, but the pariahs of the human population. So in the context of that definition, as it was coming out at the time in the WebBot data, I would say no, we haven't seen that yet, to answer your question. Could that still be in the cards? I've asked this quite a few times in the last 2 years from Janine, and every time Janine pulls on this, it usually comes out as that's no longer in the cards. It was in the cards. It was there as a very a more potential future outcome, perhaps 10 years ago when these WebBot data reports were reporting it, but not so much now. It's worth the question, Janine. Do you want to retake a pulse, given now that the situation has ignited again? And a lot of people in the viewer question today were asking you whether or not there could be a false flag event, for example, a missile hitting in the United States under Iran, a false flag, which would give Americans a more political clout to continue this war and then escalate even more. Could that be in the cards here, so to speak, that we get back to that original description of the Israeli mistake here, where we have actual nuclear fallout that makes a portion of the planet unlivable? Janine. And it might feel like I'm talking a lot tonight, but these questions are very um, difficult to ask straight out without any context. We have a lot of new
Yep,
viewers, and they're
that's
trying
right.
to catch up here to everything we've been talking about for years. And so Janine and I are really trying our best here to bring out the context for you guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen the way it was described. And I'm not saying Cliff's wrong in his info. I feel like they've stepped away from that, or somehow in the war that's been going on, something's been adjusted so that doesn't end up being the outcome. So it doesn't look like it's going to the Israeli mistake the way it's described, what you just described there. It's not going in that direction. Now, this is interesting. This is a like an alien or otherworldly kind of card, and I keep getting that as far as an event goes. That's kind of likely the next event's going to involve disclosure, I think, on creatures and or otherworldly beings or dimensional beings. And you know
Right.
what's interesting is like I had this thought. I just woke up a few nights ago in the middle of the night and had this, and I forgot to tell you this, even Jean Claude, but had this all of a sudden dropped in my mind that the whole alien invasion going to be fake. Remember that guy that came out? He was like an ex CIA or something, and he was telling everybody, "Okay, the next thing they're for sure going to do this fake alien invasion. It's going to be a scare event, blah blah." And we've heard a lot about the fake alien invasion. And I feel like that's the psyop there is they want you to believe it'll be fake, but actually it's about real disclosure. So
Right.
it's the exact opposite of that. We're not going to have a fake alien invasion. Maybe some weak attempts at that, and they've already been made, maybe. But I feel like what's actually going to happen is they're going to try to spin a real thing as fake because they know it's coming.
Okay. Well, thank you. That again, that's very good context. Again, thank you for all the comments in the chat here too. There's a lot of people saying, "Yes, yes, we are new. We want to have a little bit more context here. We're just coming up to speed." So I appreciate those comments. And again, there's these. You and I have had these waves over the last 5 years, to where we kind of have to slow down, recoup, and then accelerate. We're in that period now because there's a lot of new questions, and we're seeing it in the viewer question show. And that's a good thing. That means we're bringing new people here who are coming online and thinking, "Holy shit, something's wrong here. I can't put my finger on it." And they're looking at all these new sites now to try to understand the world. So thank you, and yes, welcome to all of you. Okay, the next part was the Melania Trump thing. So let me see if I can go back to that slide here. Hold on, this one here. So yeah, Melania Trump stuns the world by becoming the first lady to preside over the Security Council at the United Nations. So you and I went into this deep rabbit hole the other day. People can go watch the pay-per-view from last night, and there were so many questions that came out even after that show, because during the show somebody was asking us about a certain Iranian princess who's married to one of these crown princes, who seems to be mimicking the role, or at least triggering us into thinking about the role of the ambassador to the UN in the TV show The Expanse. This is where the UN has a base on the moon, and they're part of this galactic ambassador type of role having to do with Mars and then the outer mining planets. And in the context of Melania Trump, who Janine has pulled in the past regarding some of these hybridization aspects of her being, that also of Donald Trump, and then this news about the UN and the Office of Alien Affairs, suggesting here that maybe Melania is now taking a certain role with respect to either bringing in Space Force into the realm of operations of the United Nations, and whether she's bringing in some of her alien lineage also in these type of galactic ambassadorial roles. And so for most people watching this show, they're like, "Dude, what are you guys talking about? She's just running the Security Council and blah blah blah. It's all about Iran." Well, maybe, and then there's more. So this is where, Janine, I want you to do like just a basic overview poll of how that connects. Melania, her off-world lineage, this particular role, in the context now of the timeline to disclosure, the real alien stuff coming up, and now the fact that the UN has been at least how to tell, how do you say that, is now being managed by another force that could be looking at alien affairs in a very different way. What do we need to know about that whole change that just happened here as we were being distracted by silver, gold, Bitcoin, the war in Iran, and all that stuff? This seems to be very critical for humanity. Janine.
Wow. So we got a big ace right in the middle, and bringing her out there, I feel like they're willing to show you. They're showing you who she really is. If you're paying attention, putting her in that placement, showing you who she really is. Three of Pentacles there. Yeah, I'd call her more of an ambassador. I don't know. They didn't use that word though, did they?
No, right now she's presiding, so she's the chair of the
Yeah.
UN Security Council. But this
She's
is
like,
what I'm getting at, is
yeah,
that there's more of a role there that is not yet described, that's ambassadorial some type, and it has to do with relationships off planet, or perhaps interdimensionally and underwater as well here,
yeah.
given the nature of the UN as you've described it previously.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we're at a plateau. So this is a plateau card. We ended a whole series of things and we're at a brand new plateau and it's like history's being made right there with her doing that. We're at this new plateau as Earth and in our relations with other dimensionals and other beings. We're at some kind of new, it's kind of more like she's a peace talk negotiator with off-worlders. And that's really what's going on. And they're covering it up with Iran, like a lot of distractions. But what's really going on is, and then we're going to hear about it down the road. Okay. And it might be 2 or 3 months down the road, but we're going to hear more about this. But like what's actually going on right now feels really big as far as diplomacy, diplomatic relations with off-worlders and other dimensional beings.
Huh. Okay, so we're in for a lot of changes. I remember Cliff High repeating so many times, "Strive to survive 2025," and now here we are in 2026, and a lot of us are questioning why. This seems to be even worse so far. Just given the first 2 months of 2026, it seems to be even more crazy and frantic than even 2025 was. But this seems to be all leading to a head somehow, and there's big changes around. And if you guys haven't seen it already, let me just bring this up for you guys. On beyondmystic.net, if you go to the page, I think it was Singularity. Was that it? Hold on. I think it was Singularity. Yeah. I reposted Cliff High's interview with me where he had described basically the emotional tension values for 2025. You can find that here, as well as the new ones that he's just now put up for 2026. He's posted this on his Twitter, and we've been looking at this from time to time here on the show. And given the fact that, for the most part, the emotional tension values for 2025 that he had mapped out a year before, you could have set your watch to, again, for the most part, it's important to look at what's happening right now in the context of 2026 in the same way. So what's interesting, and what Janine is suggesting here, all of these things are leading up to something here. There seems to be a peak mid-year in July, maybe August, but then we have progress and advancement trailing off here in the end of 2026. That's, for me anyways, that's the prize, that's the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what hopefully is keeping you and I going, Janine, even though it's not difficult to hold this information and bridge the gap between the people who've been following us for years and now all the people that are coming up. But I think it's important to look at that prize and feel that and see that and stay focused on what we want as humans. Can you pull on that just to get a little bit more insight on what perhaps is coming up here in the WebBot data for progress and advancement? Where are we there by the end of the year in 2026, November, December? What does that look like? And how do we channel that, focus on that, and put our energy towards that, again, for the highest good of humanity? Janine, what would you say?
I think a lot of what he's calling progress and advancement's already known, but been hidden. So I feel like a lot of things will be introduced as if they're new, but actually they might have been around and used even by military and maybe even deep state it first, and then like I don't know who used it first, but I feel like there's things going to be shown to us as if they're new. They're new to us, but they've been around and just hidden. So there's going to be a lot of really unique ways to travel. Was the first sort of feeling I got. We've got strength and justice here. So there's like things that will, you know, how everybody keeps talking about like that ID that like keeps track of you and everything.
Or the digital ID and control grid. Yeah.
I got a feeling that it's going to be more an energetic thing, that your aura or intentions will be read. And I think other dimensional beings already do that, so they already know how to do that, or they've evolved to, they can't be in their low vibrational form because they're always being monitored by their own community in these other dimensions and higher levels. So they don't they moved out of their lower impulses, and there's going to be things coming out that are like that are spiritual. It's like a spiritual tool. And we've been talking about this, but not in these words exactly. Like things are going to come forward that are, you're going to think, okay, I have no privacy anymore. But it's like psychic abilities of certain aliens are going to rise. Already our psychic abilities have really risen up, and people will be able to just, and a lot of psychics do this anyway, can read a person energetically, right? People can do that if you train yourself to do it. I had a medicine man working with me for 3 years, and he taught me, I went a long way to learning energetically how to read somebody, and it made me a better card reader over all the years I did that one-on-one with my clients. And I feel like all of these things are going to come out, and they're not technology per se, they're spiritual tools. So it's not like you don't have a choice. So if you are demonically inclined and you are a pedophile and you're bent, okay, you're not going to be able to hang out here on the earth plane. That's how we're going to get rid of them, because the vibration won't allow it.
So this progress you're seeing in a way is kind of like, I think you've described it in the past, to where we're energetically upgraded, or our DNA is upgraded, and we have tools or access to some of the tools that we used to have maybe as humans, and now suddenly we can apply them. And that is a game changer, or it levels the playing field with some of these baddies here who are running the show. That's very positive.
Yeah, wow. They won't be able to hide anymore. And
right.
Yeah, I feel like it has something to do with our pineal gland, and maybe like a technique that brings it back to its original form.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing that was shut off, and they did it on purpose so people wouldn't be able to read the demonics. It's like finding those sunglasses in the movie. What's it called again?
They Live. They live.
Yeah. Okay, it'll be like that. Only it's more turns this on, and it's like it's in us. It's our ability already, and we'll just
so like an instant decalcification of the pineal gland.
Yeah, like that.
I'm all for it. And these fuckers can't operate in the light, right? So once you see through the game, they're kind of done here. So that's
I'm so done with that kind of disgustingness. I never want to have to deal with these guys again.
Well, I was watching a documentary also about the death of a lot of fast food restaurants in 2025, and the documentary person was saying it's somewhat about the money. Like, people are tight and they're stressed about, they have to make ends meet and they have to make better choices to feed their families. But he was kind of like dancing around the pot to figure out that, but some of these restaurants, they're not authentic, and people just don't want to go anymore. They're losing this authenticity, and people are voting with their wallets. It's not just that it's about the money, but we just don't feel connected to these fake places anymore, to these fake politicians, to all and that is dwindling. If you're watching the Nielsen ratings, for example, on the Oscar awards and all these things, like, people didn't even watch the halftime show, a lot of them, for the Super Bowl. So we're seeing that, like, it's happening in a big way, and I think you're describing it now, but it's going to accelerate here towards the end of the year. I think that's really good news. So one of the big questions, and there are a few people asking at the beginning of the chat also, was this news story about Pete Hegseth here saying that the Iranian unit behind the plot to assassinate Trump had been killed. So the leader of this particular unit. Now, that brought into question again these assassinations and the attempts, the multiple attempts that we've heard about, discussed over the last number of years. And people are still wondering, well, if it came this close, is it still possible? Is Trump still somehow in harm's way? Because as we're seeing this rhetoric go higher and higher, whether that's what's happening in Iran, the war with China, the currency wars, the tariff wars, what happened in Venezuela, the whole tectonic plates that Trump is trying to rehash here in terms of having this North American security economic zone here with Greenland and Canada included, it's putting him in the crosshairs of a lot of very powerful people around the planet. So people are asking, is it still in the cards, more assassination attempts on President Trump?
Well, we might see some as theater or the playing out of. See that? There's the theater card there. And then this card's like it's a potential with that card. It's a gateway card. So they're still looking at maybe they'll use some of those for whatever reason in the war. Right. But they're not absolutely dead set on it. So it's up in these are kind of up in the air. Like they have the tools to create a psyop that looks like that, kind of like the shooting them in the ear thing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys still believe that actually happened the way they said it did. But so see that, like, I feel like I don't.
There's a lot of blood, Janine. A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. Okay.
Follow the blood.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think it would be theater at this point, and I don't see him in danger. And also, just if you're new, remember he's likely somewhere safe. The real Trump. You got at least 4 actors playing Trump these days, and you haven't seen the real Trump for quite a while.
Right. We haven't seen the real Jim Carrey for a while either. If you guys saw that this week, what a mindfuck that shit was. I was reminded there was a meme that came out. You remember that lady who said, that motherfucker ain't real? She was pointing to an ET in the back of the plane. Everybody thought she was crazy. Well, people are having her in the memes pointing at the different Jim Carreys that showed up in France.
Oh, brother, hey?
Weird stuff. But anyways, Janine did pull on that at the beginning of the week, and the cards were suggesting that this is a beginning of disclosure for the mass population to understand that there's a lot of mask wearers. And if people can do this in their backyard and their garage, imagine what the government can do with all the resources and monies and technologies to fool us. So again, we're on this kind of like timeline of disclosure of all these fake people who are pretending to be our leaders. So I think that's interesting that that's moving into the mainstream now. That's very positive as well in terms of getting into the end of the year and having more of that pineal gland active. So we're not fooled moving forward. So that's really cool. People are asking chat about Cliff High's new book, Woo News, Chronicles of Future Days. Here, the intent of this document is to examine the changes and events set in motion by launching of the Israeli-Iran-US war, insofar as what may be predicted by prescient language. Here, he's talking about his language models as well. So please go check it out. It's available now on Kindle. And Cliff just posted earlier, we were chatting. He said that the hard copy version is coming up here very soon. But if you're interested in the Kindle version, check it out there on Amazon. Available now. I have a quick discount code promo also that Ken Schwartz sent me earlier today. This, of course, is for C60 Purple Power. Let me see if I can bring this up for you guys. Listen, hold on, your screen. Does this work? I just lost it. Where did you go? Oh, there you go. Okay, so let me play this up. Ken Schwartz from C60. There you go. Play.
Hey everyone, Ken Schwartz here, co-founder of C60 Power. I tune into Beyond the News for the same reason you do, to stay informed and think clearly in these uncertain times. C60 helps with a sharper mental focus, gives you more energy, and is a powerful protection against radiation, which we all might be needing pretty soon. And right now, Jean-Claude's audience gets 25% off C60 gummies. Just use the code BEYOND25 at shopc60.com. There are even more exclusive deals waiting for you in the show note links below. Check it out.
Hey, 25%. That's a big one. Thank you, Ken. It's a different coupon code than usual, guys. Beyond 25 is a coupon code. Check it out. The links are in this description box below. You can also find the links through our website on beyondmystic.net on the shop page as well. Interesting that he's talking about mental clarity and this fog of war stuff here. You just talked about the pineal gland. Yeah, absolutely. C60 removes a lot of fog, brain fog. I remember the first time I started taking it, my ability to program when I do HTML went through the roof. I had a lot more mental clarity to program. So I think it's definitely one of those big side effects here of the antioxidant power of C60. So check it out. Description box below. Beyond 25 in one word, we'll give you 25% off. Really, really cool deal there. Some are saying, yeah, it's still it's not a cheap product, but it's a very beneficial product. So again, you get what you pay for. So please do check it out. Janine had an immense positive reference with C60 when she was dealing with some of the how did you call them? Fogginess in your eyes at the time.
Eye floaters, yeah.
Eye floaters, yeah. So again, detoxify your body here. At that point, it's called an investment in your quality of life. So whatever that is worth for you, please do go check it out. And again, if you want to take the coupon code there, Beyond 25, that'll help you out as well. I have a guest that's coming up, as we discussed earlier this week, in 2 moments from now. In the meantime, also, I want to let you know, just on the other side of that, I will be giving away this beautiful pyramid here from Carla at Ascension Organites. Don't want to miss that, so stay tuned here. We're going to be asking questions from the audience members, and I'm also going to be giving away a set of these amazing soaps here from Alien at FlorinenFarm.ca. But first, let me introduce to you back to the show here, back by popular demand, of course, Elena, who is doing the Beyond Harmony shows now on Friday here on Beyond Mystic. Elena, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. Hi, JC. Hi, Janine.
How are you doing? I love the hairdo.
Yep.
It's going well. It's going well. A lot of things are going on right now in the world. I feel like the energy are very intense, but we are holding everything. And yeah, I'm very happy. It's been, I think, almost a month that I started the Beyond Harmony. Very grateful to be back. I feel the energy of the community so powerful. And right now we are rising to another level. So very happy to do these meditation with you guys.
Exciting to have you back on. And folks, if you haven't been watching the weekly meditations of Beyond Harmony, free, of course, for all of you guys, please check them out every Friday at noon. You'll see the next one here tomorrow at noon. But we have something even more special coming up for you guys. And this is what we want to share with you today. In the show, earlier this week, Janine, you and I have been discussing how we're getting all these reports from the audience members that they're not sleeping, they're stressed, they're frantic, they're feeling this weird energy, and they were asking you advice on how to deal with all this. A big part of it was disconnecting from all these news sources, all these apps, some of these commentators that are known to be triggers that bring you down into these fear frequencies. So that was a big aspect of it. But you mentioned something also on Monday night having to do with going within, meditating, taking the time to connect and to center. Right now, perhaps more important than even ever before, seeing as the rhetoric and the volume is just more crazy now than it was before. And for a lot of the audience members, they're like, yeah, that's great, but man, I'm having trouble sitting down for 2 minutes. I have all this stuff going on. And when I do sit down, I am having trouble staying in that zone for a while. So this is where we want to talk about this guided meditation here that's coming up with Elena. But before I get into that, Janine, why is that specifically important here, and why perhaps having a guided meditation here can help people really center, take the time that they need for themselves here to be even stronger and better, to be able to navigate here what's just around the corner? Can we do a first poll on that, Janine, and see why that important, why and how important that is for the audience members?
I know for me personally, it just helps me focus in on, like, I feel like I can feel the whole group for one thing. So it feels like I'm in a group meditation, which gives it power. And also I have a lot of trouble like staying focused if I'm just by myself. I'm looking at what the cat's doing. But when I actually join a group like that, to me, it like helps me just, I committed, right? So I'm committed. And then somebody else is doing the guided part. I don't know if that's laziness on my part, but I like hearing Elena's voice and it guides me. And I often have a really interesting visualization with guided meditations. And I've had that happen many times with Elena's guided meditation. So like for me, those are some of the reasons I like it, but let's have a look.
Okay, very good. I'm seeing Elena smile there. No, I remember how absolutely powerful these meditations were. We're going to get to the special location here and how Elena is going to catapult not just her personal energy doing these meditations, but using Gaia itself on this very specific, important energetic site that she's on right now, actually, for this upcoming meditation. We'll describe that in just a moment. But Janine here, what does universe have to say also about why we should be paying attention to this and really taking the time we need, each and every one of us, to center here and to recalibrate? Janine?
Well, here's what we've been through. So this is like we've been through a war. Yeah, we're in one. Okay, and so we've been put through the ringer. This guy's put through the ringer. And a lot of us are really like overwhelmed. So this can be an overwhelmed card. So these are our cards. And here's what Elena does. So here's what the guided meditation can do. Move us back into heart center, because these aren't heart-centered cards. These are like literal physically overwhelmed and having fought so hard. We're in survival. Some of us are in survival mode. You know what I mean? So there's that, right? So it helps us clear and move into heart center and out of like, it's like a lot of us are empaths or empathic, and we're picking up on everybody else's stress, because normies might not exactly know what's going on, but they got an inkling something weird's going on. And a lot of them are starting to wake up to that. And there's a lot of stress related to that first awakenings. Like, and I feel like that we're coming into a time when that'll be everywhere, and we're going to be looked at like guides or leaders, or we're going to be leading in the future. So I feel like it'll help us. It's almost like the leaders need support. Okay, so it's like all good tarot readers go get other tarot readers to give them a reading once in a while, because you can't really read your own cards. And all good, digital soldiers and intuitive knowers, and we're the people on the front lines, and we need some support. And I feel like Elena's offering that support, so we can focus in, and that supports. We're going to need that support. We can't do everything, right?
Right, exactly. Well, I know I'm going to be joining, and Janine is also going to be joining with me as participants here in this meditation. It's coming up on March 18. But I want you to explain, Elena, why this one is important, not just about the physical locality here and the energies, but also the alignments that we currently have. We're in the spring, which is actually the new year. So these new energies are hitting us. We're now in this new fire horse energy as well. Why is it important now to take some of these energies and recalibrate, recenter that? And why are you so excited about this particular meditation here coming up? Let's start there, and then we'll describe the location and the energies thereof. Go ahead.
Well, basically right now, like I said, the energy are very intense. We have been feeling a lot of the movement of this New Year's, the New Year's of the horse as well. And we are going to, like you said, recalibrate, going to another frequency. So we need to be able to hold as a community. And for me to hold that meditation during this moment of this new astrological new year, it's going to be very powerful. And also because of the location, holding with Mother Earth, surrounded by water, which is going to be pretty like a big protection that we will be doing around our meditation at that moment. And also I have the singing balls that I have with me that are following me and everything. Well, I almost had I had 3 dreams about the singing balls, and I don't know, I feel like, yes, I'm here, but the singing bowls are coming back, and it's been a long time since we haven't feel them also with me. So I think it's really powerful for that moment as well.
You know, to me, it's amazing, because I saw you do, and I participated in one of your singing bowl meditations for the first time along with the Beyond Mystic audience while we were at a Beyond Mystic staff retreat. And that like kind of blew you into this realm of sharing these meditations with everyone. But here you're describing also the fact that these singing bowls have memory of these locations, and the locations themselves also have the memory of these frequencies. That's why you're excited to go back, of course, here to this very amazing summit location here in the Dominican Republic. You're elevated, you're in a very critical space, very close to these very ancestral waters as well, and energy. Why you're so drawn to this place, and explain perhaps how you feel guided to come back, why it feels good to have the bowls back. You're already on location now, testing the sound stuff, sound checks with Coco in the last couple of days. We're getting ready here for this activation. Do you feel this energy already on site? And how is that speaking to you at a deep core, emotional and intuitive level, Elena?
Totally. Right now, what I'm doing with myself, and I'm really protecting myself right now, because I feel like to be here right now, it is important to really feel the energy. And also for me, when we met, when we were here in 2023, and we had this powerful moment, and you awake me in a way as well, JC, at that moment. So I feel like it is part of also of this awakening that we're going to be doing as a community. I was there in 2023, but right now it's like more as a community, and it's even more powerful because I've grown so much since then, and it's going to be a total new energy and so powerful.
Your dog agrees.
That's fine.
That's beautiful. Oh, well, let's speak to that a little bit here, Janine. Like when Elena came back to the show here a couple of months ago, she had described that she had been very vulnerable and honest with the audience members, that she had been on this healing path for herself, and that she had some level of struggles, and that doing these practices really helped her come back on track here to where now she feels comfortable and safe and energetic enough to now share again with the audience members these energies and these meditations and these very powerful activations. Speak to that a little bit here, how perhaps the audience members and how you've seen Elena grow over the years, and how you feel it's apropos, very much apropos for Elena to share some of those healing practices, energies, for a lot of us, including myself and you and those watching the shows, who feel very much broken, stressed, long in the tooth with all this war, and how we can maybe be lucky enough to have some of this shared energy and healing energy here from Elena in this activation coming up.
Yeah, it feels like a breath of fresh air. So when I look at you, Elena, I can see some kind of shift. So I don't know, chime in, regular viewers here, you guys that know Elena from the past and now she's back with us. I just feel like there's been an evolution, and your work with us and in the group setting is going to help elevate everybody else. When we do our work internally, even though it's hard, a lot of it's hard work out there, and then come back and share, I feel like it just elevates everybody. It helps us all move faster to that destination we're all trying to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Thank you. Lady Day says, you are radiant and beaming, Elena. Absolutely agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's beautiful. A lot of great comments. Thank you, everyone, in the live chat. So, guys, the activation is available now. If you want to reserve your spot, if you use the code SUMMIT10, it'll give you 10% off of this activation. And the live itself, so you can start registering now your spot for the activation, but the live itself will be on March 18 at 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, not just a meditation, it's an activation, but it's a frequency recalibration, as Elena is saying here, based on this astrological New Year's, these new energies here of the fire horse, but also in tune with that healing energy, both personally and in a group setting here with the Beyond Mystic community. Again, relatively low price here for you guys. There's still some costs associated to this, and bringing all the equipment there and setting this up and renting the venue for Elena. So please do support her in this initiative. And judging from the activations in the past, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. And again, I'm excited that Janine and I also will be participating here as meditators and activators on this date as well with you guys. So please check it out at beyondmystic.academy. Thank you, Alexandra, for the live chat there. The link, Lady Day says, yeah, count me in. So we'll see you there as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, you guys ready to give away some prizes? What do you think? Yes?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with this one. Actually, do I get to pick one? Did you give me one? Okay. Well, first of all, yes, the pyramids are 25% off here on ascensionorganites.com, valid until March 7th. So check it out. If you're missing any of these amazing pyramids here in your collection, now's the time, perhaps at 25% off. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to give away tonight. Maybe Carla's still in the live chat and she can tell me, but let's ask a question. Janine, do you have a first question here based on some of the context we had today to give away our first pyramid gift here to the audience this evening?
Oh boy, I honestly don't.
Okay. Let me make it easy. When is the live activation
There you
happening for Elena here
Okay.
on these sacred mountain spots, high energy places? And this is the pyramid. Thank you, Carla. She just said
Ooh,
that.
that's a beauty.
And it's perfect with what we're doing. She's talking about shadow work here, the beginners series. Again, going deep inside the wounded child inside of us, getting into that core wound. This is all about the healing aspect here, using those energies and propelling you forward here in these fire horse energies. So great choice of pyramid. Thank you, Carla. That's amazing. So shadow work. So what is that date, guys? I'll let that populate in the live chat here in just a moment. And again, refresh your memories that you can find all of these amazing products here at 25% off these pyramids right now on ascensionorganites.com. Okay, so let me go back to the chat. Let's see if we get some. Hold a second. I'll get to the bottom of the chat here. There you go. Okay, it's populating. Janine, let me start with you. Do you want to just let me know when to stop the feed?
Okay, stop.
Jojo 4011. Jojo 4011. Congratulations. You're the winner of this beautiful pyramid, March 18. Yes, that's the correct date. And if you go to beyondmystic.net, top of the page, hit the tech support form, just let us know you're the winner, and we'll have Carla send this out to you in short order. Next up is a beautiful kit of these amazing bundles here of these beautiful creations, soaps, organic soaps created by Aline here at florinianfarm.ca. Elena, do you have a question, easy question, something that you want to ask the audience here to give away this prize? What do you think?
What is the word that we use? We are going to we're going to do something. So you said something and I said it also.
It starts with the letter R.
Exactly.
Okay. We are something together here with these energies. So if you guys were paying attention here, check it out. In the meantime, of course, please do join Elena, of course, for free every Friday. You can find her here now on Beyond Harmony every Friday at noon Eastern. Coco also will be back on tomorrow afternoon for the Coco Show. And if you haven't seen this gem, this is a brand new series also on Beyond Mystic, the Beyond Akashic with Alexandra. Popular hit show. She's extremely busy with the Akashic records reading as well here on the consultation page on Beyond Mystic. You don't want to miss that. And of course, Janine and I will be doing the Wu-Fi, pardon me, the monthly forecast here for March. We're repeating this on, I think Coco said Sunday at 11 a.m. Is that correct, Janine?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. So stay tuned for all of that, folks. Just go to the schedule page to make sure you don't miss a beat there. So let me go back to the bottom of the queue here, and I'll ask. Yes, there's quite a few great answers. So there, Elena, let me know when to stop the feed. We'll pick a winner.
Okay, you can stop.
Stop. All right. Pam Jenkins Miller, recalibrate. That's correct. Pam, congratulations. I don't think Pam's ever won before. So congratulations if you're new to the show and you're winning this beautiful pyramid here from Carla at Ascension. Sorry, the soap collection.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a Mercury retrograde. Done a few shows already today, so thank you. So these amazing soaps, yes, by Aline. Check it out, guys. If you're looking for that there too, If you want to get into this, it also has beautiful bath salt products that Janine absolutely loves as well. BM10 is a coupon code on floralinfarm.ca for all of these amazing products. And she has beautiful new candles as well. Check them out. Which one is that one, Janine?
Divine Glow.
Oh, I love that one too.
Delicious. Yeah. And they last forever too. Like this one's I've been burning it for days.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And it has that wooden wick also, the crackles. Beautiful. Yeah. Anyways, guys, check it out, floralinfarm.ca. And if Pam, if you're that winner, yes, go to the top of the page of Beyond Mystic and fill out that tech support form there. And we'll have Aline send you this beautiful soap kit as well. So Janine, before we go today, maybe one last poll. I'm going to ask very quickly here, Elena, for advice on how to navigate all these crazy energies, what she wants to say to the audience. But I'm going to have you poll also, Janine, on that same advice and see what the universe has to say. So Elena, first you. Quickly, what are the advice here on how to deal with all of this?
The advice would be try to stay calm right now. I know that the energy are very intense, and do not take any big decision right now. I feel like during this meditation as a community, there's going to be so many messages that we're going to receive from our guidance. And as we will be recalibrating all our chakras and everything, it is the moment that everything is going to come, and we will be able to take even more decision based on what we need to do right now, and also to align soul and body together.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Elena. Great advice. Janine, what are the cards saying?
Wow, they're kind of intense. Like, ooh, feels more like a message and not necessarily advice.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got the Four of Pentacles, which is saying, so this is what we're needing to do, or this is us in the moment, and that's hold on. And it was interesting because just as I was pulling this, Elena was saying sort of hold on to your energy, like don't disperse, I guess. Don't put too much out there, like stay a little internal. And I was actually getting that in the zodiac spread too, like keep your cards a little close to your chest, like right now, for maybe a lot of reasons. And then this can be about a great revelation. It doesn't have to be a disaster. It's not necessarily next to a physical disaster kind of card. So I'll go with a revelation. It's actually next to a good card. So there could be a revelation about something that happened in the past. So some things that happened in the past, real truths about them coming out. There's going to be real big truths about what happened in the past coming out. That's going to be some of the big reveals for this time we're in, the big reveals. And the mainstream, or the main, like I guess normie audience, they're going to really have in your face some big things to contend with. That seems to be a real theme. And again, I feel like these two are advice. We're going to need to be really discerning about how we deal with our friends and family members who haven't been paying attention, who all of a sudden are needing to, or have their eyes ripped open, whether they liked it or not. And I feel like we're going to really need to be cautious with our own energy, and maybe don't overexert ourselves trying to do the work for them. Don't assume you have to do the work for them. Let them go through the pain of knowing what's been happening and go down those rabbit holes, and maybe just feed them some good videos that you happen to know about, and share some tidbits, but don't do the work for them, and don't think you have to do it and go down the same rabbit holes you've already gone down for years. Okay, send them down there, and maybe be there when they come back up with a cup of tea or whatever. But yeah, we need to reserve energy, or we're going to deplete ourselves. So be cautious with your energy too.
One more great reason for this meditation, of course, and to recenter and recalibrate to these frequencies. That's great advice. Thank you, Janine. And guess what? March 18 is Carla's birthday. Perfect meditation activation for her birthday. Happy birthday, Carla. Guys, please join me in wishing Carla, of course, a happy birthday here. It will be on March 18. So come and join us on the meditation. We'll celebrate Carla's birthday live as well there during the activation. I love you guys. Hey, guys, thank you so much again for watching. Merci, Elena.